Hello and welcome to another myth-busting video. Today I wanted to talk about Google Ads and Google search and Google kind of SEO versus Google Ads and what the difference is. A lot of companies come to me and we're often talking about SEO and they will then ask how to appear at the very top of search, but not always meaning the top of the search results. They'll be talking about the very top in Google Ads and Google Shopping. So I just want to explain the difference between the two, the differences in skill set needed for the two if you're looking to hire a freelancer or you're working with an agency to achieve to improve your kind of rankings there, just because they are very different tools and very different strategies needed for both of them. So very quickly, Google Ads is where we will appear at the top of search. Within Google Ads there are essentially two factors. There's Google Shopping, which is where you'll have like the carousel of images and products. And that can take slightly different forms as well depending on the search term, but let's not get into that now. And then you've got Google Ads as well, which will appear at the top four, and there'll be kind of sponsored links. They'll normally say sponsored or ad next to them depending on how Google's kind of changing how they are visible. And it might have kind of some more information there as well, like phone numbers to click through or numbers to text, etc. There's a lot of flexibility there with Google Ads on how you can have it displayed and what information you might want to display there, which you can't do with organic search. How Google Ads works is it is an auction. So if I was selling, say, a water bottle, I might say I'm willing to pay £2 for someone to click on my ad for the keyword water bottle, who will then click through to my website. If someone else came along and then spent £2.10, they will then more likely be more likely to appear above me in those results, so that they're all more likely to win that click essentially. There are many factors that will go into that auction, and it's not just price, but essentially the more money you've got to spend, the higher you will appear and the more kind of visibility you'll get in that spot based on a number of metrics. So it is kind of a pay to win. Because it's an auction, the value of that term will vary quite a lot. A water bottle, you might only be spending £2 a click, but for something like car insurance, house insurance, lawyers, SEO agencies, you'll go anywhere between £5 a click up to I'd say even £20 to £30 per click. So per visit on that site, you'll be paying that much money. There are some terms as well that will be a lot cheaper than that. So some more niche terms, some more long tail things, you might be paying 5p a click or 50p a click, and that they are quite rare, but they're definitely out there. That is why Google Ads is such a different beast and why it needs a different skill set, because creating those ads and making them look really appealing to kind of lower the cost of that click is really important and quite a skill. Finding the keywords that are there that are going to be revenue generating but not costing you the earth is really important as well, and that is kind of a specific skill set. So that's Google Ads. Google Shopping, I don't want to touch on too much now, but it works in a similar format. So you'll give Google a list of your products and then it will automatically bid. So that's the key difference actually here, is that Google Shopping will show you, if this is for e-commerce companies, kind of a list of ads based on what it thinks is the most relevant for its customers. It doesn't let you bid on key terms. With Google Ads, you can define, right, I want to bid on the term water bottle in as many variants as that. So it might be if someone searches for blue water bottle, that you'll appear, or you might want to set the keyword to only appear for the term blue water bottle, or blue water bottle as well as pink water bottle, red water bottle, etc. So Google Ads offers that flexibility of where you want to be, what keywords you want to be targeting very specifically, and you can pay, and then tomorrow morning you'll be on that in those search results if you've got the budget there. Whereas with Google Shopping, it's a lot more varied and crafted. Where Google Organic Search comes in, and where winning that top spot in organic search is, it is nothing to do with Google Ads. The two are not related. The only small relation they have is in that keyword research. You might want to research keywords for Google Ads to understand the kind of the cost per click implications there and how much they're going to cost. And you might want to research keywords based on their search volume and their difficulty based on ranking it for SEO. There's a separate video on that, so I'm not going to go into that now, but that is the only overlap there where if I'm working with a client who has been running Google Ads, I might request that I have a look at those search terms so that I can also then use that to inform my SEO strategy. But that is that is it. Kind of, it's very minor. So appearing in Google Ads is instant. You can basically pay to win. You can go, right, I want to be at top of search for SEO agency tomorrow. Here's £1,000. Do whatever you can. With search, organic search, you can't do that. It's far more long term. It's far more a kind of, there needs to be a crafted strategy there, and it will take into a lot of factors. Normally, people who are at the top of search will have optimized their website very well, but will also be an established company in that industry and will have many backlinks and many discussions about them. So they'll have like kind of PR campaigns that are linking to them. They'll have forums that are linking to them. They will have basically anywhere where someone's talking about them or mentioning their brand name will help them as well. That is a very kind of hard and fast rule. That is why someone will be at the top of search for certain kind of competitive terms. It's not always the case, but that will definitely be helping you. You can't get to the top of search very quickly, even unless the keyword is extremely easy and there's basically no one else in that niche operating. Then that's the only case you will actually be able to kind of get to the top. If not, you'll have to devise a strategy over several months to a year, probably, if it's really competitive, to really focus on that keyword and try and rank for it. The reason why it's really important to have this distinction is because I will often recommend people who are looking for a quick win, who they want traffic to their site, say around Christmas, that they might email me in October saying, I want to rank number 1 for the term Christmas gifts for him by Christmas. From an SEO point of view, that's just not feasible. For small companies, that's going to be just literally impossible, because unless they've got a large budget to do backlink outreach, kind of, I won't go into it now, but to do a lot of SEO work on their site and kind of reaching out to other companies to really quickly get links to their site, they're not going to see the movement, and even then getting to first isn't guaranteed. Whereas if in October you go to a Google Ads specialist and say, I've got £1,000, I want to appear at the top of Google Ads for the next 2 months for Christmas, that suddenly is a lot more achievable, and you can kind of predict the amount of traffic and potentially the revenue you'll get from that. That's the most important thing, is just understanding the kind of the limitations of the two. Where I would perhaps see the overlap, or kind of strategic overlap, is where you might want to be doing both. So you might have a search term where your position is 3 on search, but you want to be in the top spot with Google Ads as well, where there might be those kind of 4 ads. So you might want to do both then, if the keyword's fairly cheap. Or it might be, in rare cases, that an a term that is difficult with SEO is actually quite cheap with Google Ads to bid on. So say there's quite a popular term that I don't think a small company is going to be able to rank for without a significant investment in SEO over a long period of time, but the Google cost per click is only, say, 50p. It might be that then I go, look, on this term, on this kind of page, on this campaign, we're going to ignore SEO for a little bit and we're just going to focus on Google Ads and make sure that is optimized, because from a revenue point of view, you're going to get a far better and quicker return on investment out of the Google Ads strategy than you are an SEO strategy. We can look at the SEO strategy over 12 months, but it's going to be more of a back burner part of like a wider campaign. It might not be that we just focus on that, because it's not going to see the results that you want. That's the key definition, is that Google Ads has essentially no impact and no relevance on Google search, on Google organic search. The organic results are separate, and will take a separate strategy to achieve those kind of top spots than Google Ads will. Google Ads is far quicker and far more responsive, and essentially, if you've got money, then Google Ads is a far more easy thing to win. SEO is a bit more long-term and strategic. The benefit being, though, once you hit those kind of bigger organic terms, is you're going to see a scale of traffic which you wouldn't be able to afford to with Google Ads. So with Google Ads, if you've got 50p a click and you've only got £500, that is a finite amount of traffic you can buy. With SEO, if suddenly you get to a search term that's getting a few thousand searches a month, you can see your organic traffic take off, and it will kind of outperform any Google ad that you could run purely based on its free traffic. There's obviously an investment in time and kind of content behind it, but in terms of that click at that moment, it is cost free. So it's a bit longer than normal, unfortunately, but I think it's really important to take some time and just explain why Google Ads is so different to search and kind of the difference there. To organic search, and why Google Ads and organic sit alongside each other, and there is a very small amount of overlap, but ultimately they should be thought of as 2 separate marketing activities. Thank you very much. Any questions or anything, if anything's unclear, then please post a comment below. But otherwise, I hope that's cleared things up, and you will be able to kind of form a more cohesive strategy with that. Thank you. Bye.